Hey guys, how's it going? It's Pervious1030 here with Tin Can Gardener, and it is getting to be spring. Sitting in my greenhouse, watching all my seeds start to grow. Figured I'd do a video on getting some seeds started. I understand that not everybody's got the time or the money to go out and buy the seed starters with the dome and all that good stuff, so there are some alternative options. Everybody knows what these are. Egg carton. If you have an egg carton and an old plastic cake dish with the clear dome on it, you can start seeds. These work great. They're biodegradable. You put them right in the ground. Nothing too fancy. These. Here's your other option. If you go to a greenhouse, you see if they're throwing away any of these little planters right here that sit right inside of the big trays. The only thing about these is you gotta have something underneath of them. Same thing with these, because you're gonna have water everywhere if you don't. And the main idea, a lot of people, you know, with my gardening club, they have an issue starting seeds. They go, well, my seeds didn't grow. Or they grew and then they died. And what I found is a lot of times it's a heat issue. Seeds germinate at roughly about 70 to 75 degrees. And you want to keep that soil nice and warm. Excuse me. So they can actually germinate and grow. And whenever you drop below those premium conditions, the plant slows down and it doesn't grow as fast. Now, whenever I'm growing seeds, I kind of cheat because I use a heat mat, a heater, the whole 9 yards, because I have a lot of plants to get out to people. I am by no means some commercial greenhouse who is doing thousands of plants, but I like to make sure that my neighbors, you know, if they need plants, I got them. So whenever you're starting seeds, you know, it's very important to remember that that is the most crucial part of the plant's life, is in the beginning. They're easy to kill. You can overwater them, not water them enough, and I've seen that too, a lot of overwatering. That's why I like to take a little dish, like a little meat tray or something, like I have up here. You can't really see it, but this is a tray that I got ground beef in, the plastic ones, and just put a little bit of water in there. The plants will take up what they need. You don't need to drown your plants. It's ridiculous. And you know, if you're going away on vacation, what I found that works is taking a little bottle like such, put a lid on it, and put a little pinhole in the bottom, and it'll give it a drip effect, a very light dripping like that, which, you know, will give you at least a couple days. But a pan to set them in, if you're doing them indoors, that's always a good idea. And another big thing that I have, as far as my garden, my community garden, people in my garden, is I don't have the space. I hear that a lot. I like to keep the top of my fridge cleared off. I don't like putting too much stuff up there. It's bad for the refrigerator anyways. But that is an excellent spot to put seeds, because not everybody can afford a heat mat. And seeds do not need light until they sprout. A lot of people throw a light over it and it's like, it's silly. They're going to obviously need to germinate before they need that light. And some people, they don't give them light at all. They'll sit there and put them in a dark space, forget about them, and by the time you find them, there's these dead things coming up out of the soil. So it's really important to be diligent, especially if these crops are something that you're counting on for your garden to feed yourself. As you can see with my plants, this guy right here, he looks a little sad, but that's because it's a little bit cold in here. It's not too cold, but it's not as warm as it could be. This, I do believe, is a big boy, and I gotta check them every now and again, make sure no critters are hiding underneath my leaves. But it's very important that whenever your plants get a certain size, that you transplant them into another vessel so the roots don't get root bound, because they'll get all knotted up and it'll stunt the plant's growth. So a lot of people as well don't have money to go out and buy pots. However, I have a solution. These are my beans. These are like a week old. A water bottle. Great, awesome choice for a plant potter. It'll at least give this plant enough room to actually get big enough to produce something. And you'll see the roots. Whenever the roots start really getting out and start coming out, it's time to, you can either cut this open or try to get it out. It's kind of difficult, but it's a great option for pots if you don't have any. Another great option is paper cups. Those are also biodegradable. I don't like using styrofoam, obvious reason. And as far as a bigger container, if you go to the dollar store, sometimes you'll get those little pots, those little buckets for $1. Those are great. Drill a couple holes in them, or you get two of them, put one inside the other, drill holes in the one on the inside, and the one on the outside don't drill no holes, and you have your own wicking hydroponic system. It's a pretty good deal. So starting seeds are not difficult. The type of plant that you are going to grow is important. If you're growing beans, they're going to shoot up quick, they're going to shoot up big. They're not going to be like broccoli, it's not going to be smaller. Tomatoes, the same way. And labeling is very important, guys. If you're not labeling your plants, and I'm guilty as charged of this, I've had beefsteaks mixed in with brandy wines, and you're like, uh-oh, which ones did I put where? So it's kind of difficult to keep an eye on which one's what, unless you really, have a distinctive look about them. Some tomatoes are just totally different than others, like Romas. They just grow differently. But a lot of times what I find is, let me see here. Let me find a good little plant to talk about. I have so many. Whenever they're all very, very tiny, like this guy right here. Alright, I just put it in the top of the bottle because I got bored. Experiments. With a little guy like this, he's got another week or two in here. He can actually do some pretty good growth. But like I said, whenever it gets so cold, this is a warm weather crop. It's not going to do as good as something like celery or lettuce in the beginning of the spring. So these are just for my summer crop. Whenever it gets warm enough to put these out, I want them at least a foot tall to make sure that they will survive pest, disease, and that sort of thing. Now, if you're trying to get your first crop in the spring, I suggest Brussels sprouts, celery, lettuce, any kind of lettuce, bunching lettuce, leaf lettuce. I use these baskets. I get some of this stuff from the dollar store, put it in there, voila, got a basket. There's so many things you can do. I even did my own upside down pot right here. I don't know if you can see it. I just put some cardboard up in here to retain that moisture, because last year I did this and it dried out pretty quickly. It was hard to keep it alive. So whenever you're growing in the winter or the spring months, you can actually get a couple harvests with cold weather crops in the spring and the fall. So I like to plant all of my rooting crops and all my lettuces and things of that nature in the spring, and hopefully they mature about midsummer, so you can hurry up and harvest and get the second harvest in with those. Now, I've spoke to you guys about lettuce before, or celery, I'm sorry, and these are celery plants which we have already eaten. They were going to be thrown out anyways, And these are cold weather plants. They like the cold. They do not like the heat. It's good to find a shaded area for this. But as you can see, I just put it in here. It started rooting. Conditions were right. About 70 degrees. You really don't need root hormones. Everything will root on its own, like celery, carrots, and vegetables of that nature. As long as they have a base on them, they should reroot. Now, not all plants will do that, just so we're clear. I don't want to get angry emails saying, but you said they would. I understand it can be done with pineapples. I've had a hard time with it. Me and pineapples don't get along so well because I am in Colorado, so it's a little bit different. However, those are some ideas on starting your plants. I'm at about my limit on this video, so if you guys got any questions, go ahead, throw them to me down on the bottom and I'll check them out. Rate, subscribe, let me know what you guys think. Let me know about some of your experiences with this. I'm really looking forward to hearing it. Alright guys, this is Pervious with Tin Can Gardener. Take it easy and grow something good this year. Alright, later.